Hey everybody, Dana Stovern here with the Magic of Somatic Money, back to do the new 5D Money timelines and gateways for this week of September the 8th, 2024. And I've got some really interesting stuff that has come through for us this week, so let's go ahead and get to it. And Spirit Team wants us to go ahead and get started with the astrology as it's lining up with the timelines and gateways. And you're going to notice something pretty interesting this time around. So okay, take a look at this, folks. There is only one timeline jump. Just one. And to put this into comparison, I want you to take a look at what we have been going through for over the last month since I've been tracking this. All right, take a look at this. There's that one. That was last week. We did 2 gateways and 2 timeline jumps. The week prior to that, at the end of August, was 2 timeline jumps and 1 gateway. August 18th through the 24th, 2 gateways, and quite a bit of activity going on with these Schumanns from what I remember with that. And then let's take a look at this. August 11th through 17th, we had a gateway and a timeline jump. So that puts into perspective that we are looking at a relatively uneventful week, knock on wood, as long as the solar flares continue to glance by us. And here is the big news on the radar is the last reading off of the Schumann's resonance out of Russia happened on September the 5th. If you remember last week, Spirit Team, remember them saying, Dana, we don't want you talking about Schumann's resonance. And then the graph out of, I believe it's Polonk's Russia, the last reading was on the 5th of September. There hasn't been one since. I am looking to try and find if there are other people tracking this so that we have that information. Now, when I found that out, that was really disturbing for me because for me as a sensitive, I know for many others of you, we rely on that information to help us know what's going on energetically because the astrology affects us, the sun affects us, and the Schumann's resonance affects us. And without the Schumann's resonance, it's going to be a little bit harder to track where those waves of energy are happening. But what Spirit World wanted me to let you guys know is, yes, the Schumann's resonance, it is important for tracking, but even more so what's important is tracking how we are evolving with these energies going on, with how the astrology affects us, how Schumann's affects us, and how the sun is affecting us. And so really the focus is about what themes are going on energetically and how powerful are those themes that are going on that are connecting with us and causing us to shift. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the graph for this week. So given that we don't have any gateways coming up, that's telling me that we've got a lower event horizon energetically for us to walk through, which means we may be able to recover a little bit this week, integrate a little bit more this week, take a little bit of downtime, be able to take a breath, so to speak. And as we are doing this today's Sunday when I'm recording this, and we are beginning to come off the Sun in Virgo opposition to Saturn retrograde in Pisces, which quite frankly has been very intense. If you have felt stuck or depressed or can't get through things, it's very well likely this is what's affecting that. Then the next event that we've got going on is Mercury's crossing the line into home of Virgo. And then we've got, I think this is probably going to be a pretty big one, is the Sun in Virgo squaring up with Jupiter in Gemini. And then at the end of the week, Spirit Team is indicating a timeline jump is happening there. They're saying the end of the week very potentially is fairly intense, and that tells me we might have solar flares and or a flare-up on the Schumann's resonance. And then just fair warning coming in right here at the end, we've got eclipse season is very close upon us again, headed into next week. So let's go ahead and talk about what this means for business and money for us this week. You know, when I got to taking a look at the astrology and where the planets were sitting and just letting it energetically hit me and energetically reflect off of me, the first messaging that came through was everything is not as it seems this week. And it felt like it's not going to be on the forefront. It's going to be happening in the background. It feels like there's a lot of shifting and moving, all behind the scenes energetically. So this week feels very much like business as usual. Like in our 3D world, business as usual, getting up in the morning, doing what we all do, going through our routines, our physical routines, and almost kind of like a feeling of like nothing to see here. But behind the scenes, it feels like there's going to be a lot going on. It's also a week that feels very much like the weird oogie boogie stuff can show up. Kind of like I mentioned, like, was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago, that whole oogie boogie Halloweeny feeling? That's kind of back in the air again. So kind of like spidey sense of like things kind of appearing out of nowhere that might be kind of strange. Like that is in the air for this week. And now what was really interesting then was when I pulled the cards, the oracle cards, to say, hey, what is going on financially for us this week? What do we need to be paying attention to financially? And what was really interesting was that the first two cards that came up, again, these have been at the forefront. Two toxic financial patriarchy cards came up. One is the Code of Silence card, and the other is the toxic financial patriarchy power triangle. And what's been really interesting is I've been back rewriting on things. I am rebooting my starter kit. I'm getting it done at a whole other level. And I was actually rewriting on some of this last night. So I have a whole fresh perspective on that power triangle with the toxic financial patriarchy that tends to keep a lot of us in a financial hostage situation in the financial culture that we're living in. And these two things are back at the forefront. And so if you are interested in learning more about this, I have rebooted my starter kit and all the information is in there. It's really interesting and would be very beneficial for you to look at. I think this is the oogie boogie stuff behind the scenes that may be very well affecting us in low vibrational shadow kinds of ways with our money. So if you are feeling like you are stuck with your money and old patterns with your money and financial hostage situation with your money, and it's all kind of happening in the background, that's this stuff going on. And then what was really interesting is as I was pulling those cards, there were two other cards that fell out of the deck. Boom, boom. And they came up as the heart chakra card and also the spirit money team card. So what I'm seeing from this very much is like, this is what's going to be affecting us in our shadow world with money this week. And to deal with it, it's going to be very important to pay attention to your heart chakra. What is your heart chakra, your compass setting, saying? And being very clear about calling in your spirit team, your divine financial guidance for support, guidance, and protection with your money. These two cards seem very important to help you navigate through shadow world kind of stuff. You know, this week I think we're kind of riding low to the ground. So I think it's going to be a great week to like just keep putting one foot in front of the other, but be very aware of shadow world with money and business maybe sneaking up and just suddenly appearing in front of you without you really having any kind of warning. And I can hear, like, I'm just tuning in with Spirit Team on messages. There's a feeling from Spirit Team is if you have this kind of stuff happen, do not take it personally. It is not the universe taking stuff out on you. It's not even really the universe trying to give you a lesson. This is just kind of like, sometimes, how sometimes there's like random acts of kindness that are really great. Well, sometimes there's random acts of shadow world that aren't really great. And spirit world really wants you to know, do not obsess. If some of this stuff comes up, please do not obsess about it. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. Get to your higher ground. Talk with your spirit team. Get into your heart chakra. Keep it moving forward in as upbeat a manner as possible, and do not buy into the crappy stuff. That's what I can hear from Spirit Team right now on this. Okay. That's what I've got for you this week. Thank you for being here. Be sure to like, comment, and follow. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you in the next video.